What? No adjective for me? I feel
You're
hurt.
just solid. That's all I can say is you're solid, Senator.
Okay, I'll take that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For Mr. Kumar,
You're early.
we have heard from Mr. Swick, I'm sorry, of AEP, representing one of the largest electric utilities in the country. In past hearings under Chair Murkowski, we heard from similar or smaller utilities that struggle to find the resources to secure their systems from cyber attacks. As part of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, this committee established a $250 million grant and technical assistance program. It's called the Rural and Municipal Utility Advances Cybersecurity Growth and Technical Assistance Program. It's a mouthful. To help improve the cyber capabilities of smaller utilities and rural electric cooperatives, such as the Kauai Island Utility Cooperative in Hawaii. Can you update us on DOE's implementation of this program?
Senator, thank you for that question, and this is a really important area, is we need to really be focused on some of those under-resourced communities. We need to be thinking about the municipal utilities, the rural cooperatives. There are over 2,700 of them across the United States, so we need to prioritize their
Yes,
efforts.
that's why
so
we have this program.
that's-
Can you-
and I
How's
think-
it going?
Where we are right now with the program is, what we've been spending is we've conducted listening sessions with the companies themselves. So we had listening sessions with over 250 municipal rural cooperative utilities with cyber technology companies to really understand where do we need to focus those resources so we can have an impact. And so we are in the process, after those listening sessions that we convened with all of these different stakeholders, we're now in the process of starting to execute some of that funding and get it out the door to the communities.
So can you give me an example of what some of these smaller utilities and rural entities need in the area of cyber protection?
So one of the things that we found through some of the listening sessions is, in some cases, it might just be cyber hygiene. In other cases, they may not have the resources to hire cyber talent, and so they might need to bring in third parties who can come in and execute some of the cybersecurity measures for them. And so we need to meet them where they are to ensure that we can actually have a sustainable program, because we want to ensure that it's not going to be a thing where they have funding for a couple of years and then they don't have funding after that. It has to be sustainable.
Yes.
So that's been our focus, is to make sure it's a sustainable program beyond the life of the funding that we have.
So in these listening sessions that you had, was Kauai Utility one of those entities that you heard from?
Senator, I'm not sure
I can
right now,
check
but
with
I'm
them,
happy to come
but
back with
you're
you.
available to help them, right? Because
Absolutely, ma'am.
they're the only utility co-op in Hawaii. We're going to need a highly trained, again for you, Mr. Kumar, a trained workforce to help defend the critical infrastructure against these kinds of attacks. And we have CSER. What is CSER doing to improve post-secondary educational cybersecurity training curricula?
Senator, workforce is a key element. As I mentioned earlier, we have 700,000 unfilled jobs. And then when you actually take a look at what those jobs that know energy systems, that's an even smaller pool. So to that end, we are focused in three areas. One is the future workforce, and that's focused on the post-secondary workforce. So we have a competition where we bring together colleges, universities, technical colleges all together to defend energy systems in a mock cyber scenario. And the idea is we also we bring in private sector so that they can look at jobs in the private sector, jobs at the national laboratories, and of course, jobs with us in CSER. We're training them to understand the cyber threats and make it real, where it's not just cyber is a thing that happens in an IT environment, it actually has operational impact to the availability of electricity, oil, and natural gas. And so we're training them through the competition.
So that sounds good. Has your office considered supporting students with fellowship opportunities, for example, in government or in the government or energy sector, so that they can get some hands-on experience and create a commitment and interest in working with within the government sector?
Senator, as music to my ears, we are actually actively looking at fellowships to bring in fellows into the Department of Energy to help us accomplish our mission.
You should, please let us know, because I'm a big supporter of internships and fellowship programs to really give people the experience within government and the kinds of jobs, et cetera, and what they can do as part of our effort. We're all in this together, so to build that esprit de corps, I think that's a good thing. Okay, I would like to ask one of the other, oh, well, I am out of time.
Go ahead.
Okay. For Mr. Swick, investing in modern electrical grid will play a key role in ensuring reliable power, higher levels of renewable power, and lower energy bills. And you may know that Hawaii pays the highest electric bills. I think we still pay the highest in the country. So in addition, microgrids with local energy and energy storage systems offer the potential to ensure hospitals, fire stations, and military installations can quickly recover from natural disasters or cyber attacks on the larger grid. What should regulators, owners, and operators of assets in the power sector do to take advantage of the benefits and reduce the risks that come as local power systems incorporate larger shares of distributed renewable power sources and energy storage?
So a big piece of that is making sure we manage the risk that those could introduce. As we have all the distributed resources to get connected, we need to make sure the right guidelines exist for them so they don't introduce risk while they're managing the risk. Their whole intent is to help
Yes.
manage that risk, but we need to make sure we're not introducing more as it's being implemented. So controlling those as well as partnering with the local areas and making sure we figure out what they need. And AEP's doing a lot in those areas to help create microgrids and other distributed areas where we can work with partners to enable that to be provided.
So do you think that the utilities are doing a good job to make sure that they're not introducing risk into their systems?
I think the utilities are doing a good job helping manage that and ensure it. Some of the distributed providers that may not have the same level of capabilities or focus, and they may not be looking at security first to market, those are some areas where I think we need to continue to focus and help manage that risk, because it's things that I may not be able to control because I can only reach so far into it, right? So we need them to step up and bring secure stuff to connect.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator. And Senator King.
I'm only sorry we didn't have this hearing last week.